Hey guys, welcome back to GamePlayX4. It's a little bit late, but it's better late than never. Hope you guys are doing well. E3 just went by around the week, and either way, how you guys doing? How's everything going, Gannon?
Just chilling.
Just chilling. I know you guys just noticed we're a little bit short-staffed just because of COVID-19. Either way,
They got them.
they got.
They got.
Nah, just joking. They're doing something. Either way, E3 just went by. I mean, it went kind of fast, right? Like it almost like.
Normally E3 is like about 5 days. I think this time it was about 4 because Sony isn't there anymore, and COVID, kind of.
Yeah. But it went almost unnoticed. Like we know it was gonna start in a specific date, and then it did, and we didn't hear anything. Well, at least they didn't hear nothing much.
No. It's because you don't pay attention to it. Right? There's a difference.
No, because the thing is, they're in they go announcement and they just start announcing stuff and you see in your timeline if you're on Instagram. So, and then the next day I heard that Square Enix hadn't really announced much.
I mean that's really was the thing, that this E3 wasn't really that great.
They only had 2 big winners, really.
Right. And then they, I think at the same time, Netflix was having their Geek Week or whatever.
Which was with what's his name, Jeff Keighley.
Right, and so it's like
his like Game Fest Summer Fest thing.
Right. So like they kind of had 2 competing at the same time, and so it's like a lot of things were announced, but I think it was so many things that they just kind of all got lost in the shuffle, unless they were like really big enough.
Yeah, I didn't start hearing like big announcement until like probably Sunday afternoon.
Really?
Yeah, man.
The first big ass announcement was Elden Ring, and that was the first day of like Summerfest, which was with Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, I think we talked about it last week, right?
He ended it on that. So I mean, that was probably the biggest. I want to say the biggest news out of the whole like E3 spanning, but everything else was just like, I mean, obviously there was 2 other companies that we'll talk about later that won E3, but other than that,
there's one company I wanted.
Nothing. What is there?
But yeah, so this is the Square Enix conference right here. What did they announce on this? That mattered.
Square Enix?
Yeah, that mattered. There's only one thing.
Yeah, the only one thing that mattered is the Final Fantasy Team Ninja Square Enix game, which is that it's like some weird ass name that they gave it, but it's basically Eminem Marshall Mathers main character as the protagonist, and all he says is chaos in the game.
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. For those people who are, is it Final Fantasy 7?
No, it isn't. So it's a it's a basically like a prequel before Final Fantasy 1. Yeah,
Final Fantasy Origin. Yeah.
Because,
well, I was gonna say, for all the people who are hating that Tifa's boobs got nerfed in the new Final Fantasy 7, you don't have to worry about that anymore because Team Ninja will get you.
Right. But
Team Ninja doesn't respect women.
But you know what? Like that trailer that they showed was, for me, was like bad. Like the way that, first of all, the dialogue's heavily fucking Nomura. Fucking was it chaos so thick that I can taste it. That was like one of the fucking quotes that he says. And so I was just like, God, what is this fucking dialogue?
Look, man, it's like I said, I don't know if you guys remember, but a long time ago, I think around the time Arkham Knight came out, Square Enix released like these Batman figures.
Right.
It was like their version of Batman.
Play Art Spy.
Yeah, and it pretty much, everyone at the time were pretty much summing up what Square Enix was with those action figures, where they look nice, right? But they're overworked. They
Oh
look
yeah,
really nice. They
they're
look really
overdesigned.
good, but
Yeah,
there's no point in half the stuff they were wearing on those
right.
figures. And I think that's come full circle for Square Enix. Whereas like the games they make look amazing, right? They you can't deny how good they look graphically. They almost except for Avengers, sorry, address, but except for Avengers,
Uh-huh.
I don't like that game.
they
I don't know what you're
no
trying to mean.
no I'm saying like except for that, the games run pretty well, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, there's no substance. There's
Right.
no
I
there's
mean,
no real no meat behind it. It's just
so the
surface level stuff.
yeah, so the game. I mean,
Yeah.
when it comes to the character design, and especially coming from Team Ninja, and then coming from the world that they made like Neo, and that those type of games, you're just like you would think the character designs would be, especially in a Final Fantasy world, would be amazing.
Yeah,
and, and they're fucking not. And like the default, like if you actually play the game and the demo did come out not too long ago, because at first the demo wasn't working for people who wanted to download it, and then it worked like maybe like 2 days after. But for those that actually play the game, you actually collect gear like in Neo, and then so you dress differently depending on the gear that you pick up in the game. So you don't actually look like that. It's just like that's the default what they decided to choose. But I just felt like, why'd you choose that? Like,
yeah,
you shouldn't.
yeah. I mean, it's Square Enix, man. There's really nothing you can say to
Yeah,
them.
I mean, and the gameplay, I say because I watched Maximilian dude stream, and he was even surprised, like, oh, the gameplay is fun, and the mechanics that they choose to do, like you get to be a there's like variants of like black mage and like in
Right,
Final Fantasy, right? The jobs, right?
right.
So you get those jobs, but you get to choose what you want, and then you can kind of switch in between even while you're fighting.
Right.
So that's cool, and the gameplay is very interesting, and it looks fun as fuck. But it's just like this, like the design that you choose for the characters, and also the two guys that accompany you are really annoying. Because like, let's say if you're trying to like to avoid an enemy, or you're like because you're trying to like get something and you don't want to fight that certain monster or whatnot, the two guys actually go and fight them without your say, and so like it fucks with what you're trying to do, or they get in the way of like a certain attack, because a lot of those are like time based attacks, right? Like your
Right.
timing, it's basically like Bloodborne, right? Where you know that the enemy has a certain pattern, so you're readying yourself, but because the teammates basically do John F. Kennedy to get in the front, so it fucks with your timing, and so
Yeah,
like they only get in the way, and so that's the annoying part of the gameplay. Is
yeah,
if those two weren't there, if you had the option of taking them away, it would be I think a funner game.
yeah. I
But
mean,
I mean,
I think that Square Enix. I say I think they just put too much on Final Fantasy. I'm just realistic. I mean, I think put way too much into Final Fantasy. I think they double, triple, quadruple, septuple all the way down on Final Fantasy. That any game that's not like Final Fantasy just doesn't do well.
I mean, like I said, the gameplay is fun. Um, it just for me what lacks is the visual quality, the character design. Well, I will say the default character design,
Okay.
and the dialogue. The dialogue is annoying as fuck.
Okay.
And
So
uh,
so so with that being said, who do you think won E3
in totality.
in
I'm about to
totality?
have that conversation
Okay.
right now.
Yes.
Okay. So who I think won personally for me was Nintendo.
That's too easy.
Well, one sentence. Why?
In one sentence, why? And they had the most wow factor.
Are you ready?
I mean, besides the obvious, because Xbox could have taken it by announcing.
I mean, they were close.
Yeah,
They were close.
They could have taken it because they announced finally the what's it called, the Halo Infinite multiplayer, and people were actually
No, that wasn't finally announced. That was what was
no, it was
finally
like
announced
now,
about
like
about the
it,
multiplayer was that it was free.
yeah, yeah. Besides the fact,
was
I
announced.
mean, they had to compensate, for taking it as late as it was now, and
No,
also to compete
No,
against
they didn't have to do that.
and also to
Nope, they
compete,
didn't have to do
and
that.
also to compete
No.
against people, other like
so
platform.
who won in your
All
opinion?
right, just Nintendo. It's too easy.
Why? Why?
Why? They have more games announcements. No,
It.
they okay. They have no.
Did you even watch E3?
No more games, just like better games,
More games you care
bigger titles announcements.
Why?
Like
That's why I said
more games you care.
Yeah.
exactly. That's why I
Okay.
said personally for me, Nintendo
Yeah.
won. But who made the
so-
most announcements out of E3 was Xbox.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I also think Nintendo won, but it seems like the consensus for people who are non-gamers
Casuals.
is that Xbox,
Right.
which is a good sign for them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. As I was looking into some of their games, they do look really interesting. But we're gonna have that conversation later on the podcast. After we're done with all this news, you can tell us who you think won E3 down in the description or in the chat. Is that right, man?
Yep. You can leave it down. You comment down below as we progress through today's podcast. Obviously, we're gonna be talking about the different things that happen at E3.
Right.
So we did talk about Square Enix, right? You guys did went and threw out some of the Final Fantasy new game that they announced. That I mean, even you, Andres, are not even completely like.
Yeah, I'm not completely
He
sold on it.
Yeah,
he was interested in, not like, but he was interested in one game.
I'm not quickly going out of my way to go and pre-order the game right at this moment.
Right. Right, that's something you pick up in the market,
and that's a big deal
$20.
because Andres just buys anything. All right,
Not anything. Not anything.
Like I said, like it's a big deal because you wait until it's $20, maybe you pick it up $10.
Right.
That's the kind of
get
game
it for
that
free.
is.
He's getting it for free.
No.
Game Pass. I'm waiting for Game Pass.
All right, so let's jump into the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. What do you guys like about? I mean, the E3 showcase the most.
I mean, when it comes to Microsoft and when Bethesda, I think the biggest thing they did was pretty much start announcing some of the Bethesda games as Xbox exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
It's good that they just planted that flag immediately. They're just like, yeah, we bought them. A lot of games may be exclusive. The only real interest I had in Bethesda, well, not even Bethesda, but Microsoft was arcade studio game, what's called Redfall or something like that.
You mean the last game that they announced at E3?
Was it the last one where it was
the vampire?
It was like vampire. Yeah, it was like a vampire.
You really? I all right.
Well,
I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk.
The thing is like it's just nothing about the game. I just like arcade studio games.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Like I just like the games. Like I played all of this on this.
Because I looked at the whole thing and I was just like, because to me it's like if it's not zombies, it's vampires.
Right. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. You're 100% right.
And then so like I was just like,
when you say vampires, you mean like what was that called? Was it Iron Legend vampire?
And then, so, but I was just like, I saw that game and I was just like, all right, is this and like learning and reading about it even more? It's basically a battle royale game that's like hero centric shooter.
It's like a co-op. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I was just like that. I guess that's. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. No, I think it was called Redfall. Yeah.
Oh, Redfall.
The thing is that I believe Arcane Studios is one of those studios that are kind of like Remedy,
right?
Whereas it's like they make good games, but they need that little push to actually go over the edge. That makes sense.
Yeah.
To actually make a legendary game, they need just a little bit more.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I wish that they would have worked on another game and not like a live service game.
Oh man, yeah, of course.
Because of it's a game that we're talking about, like for that studio to get pushed over the edge and get like really noticed, especially and their first showing with Bethesda and Xbox coming in together
Yeah,
in bed, like you start with a live service game. It's just like and especially a battle royale, which is a genre that it's highly like already exhausted. So it's just like if you're really coming into this scene where we already have so many battle royale games out there, man, your battle royale better shit on every battle royale this far, because
it's not.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's coming as much as you want, Arcane to win. You just like that. No,
That's what I'm saying. Like I just do it to support them until they make that legendary game.
right.
It's just like Remedy. Like half a Remedy game, I don't even play, but I get them to support them until they make that. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Once they make the legendary game, I can go out there and lie and pretend like I was on their side the whole time.
For me, the best game that I had the hugest interest in was that pixel game that had like real world graphics. So it was like a pixel, so it looked like it out of the world, kind of like Octopath Traveler, but Octopath Traveler was still in a 3D world, right?
Right,
But
right.
it looked like hyper realistic stylized world with a pixel. So it kind of looked like uh Miles Morales Spider-Man, where like the characters kind of look
Oh, self shaded.
right, like cell shaded, but and they kind of look like out of the world, right? They're not like doesn't feel like they're like in the world, because the world kind of looks hyper realized, and then they're all like CGI cell shaded, like comic
Yeah,
looking, right? So they
yeah.
kind of like look like, but then they don't look like it's part of the world. But then
Like
he's like super pixelated art, like
I think it
character.
was like what was that game called? Something Chronicle. I don't know, even whatever it was called. That one, right? The one where they're
No,
like sprites
Chronicles. No,
in
no,
the
no, no.
3D.
It was like the dude actually like had like a gun, and he looked like he had like an overcoat, like a black overcoat. Uh, I don't know what, like the enemies were coming at him, and he was just shooting like everywhere. So it was like that pixel game that like he was shooting. But I mean, the world looked super like hyper realized, like realistic, and then and the characters and the enemies are like super pixelated characters. So it looks really really dope, and it looks really fun, and like I also like the art direction when you start seeing like kind of like Octopath, right, where you start seeing pixelated and they're in a 3D world. I always found that way of gaming, or like that genre of gaming, like really interesting to look at. Like even just to just watch it. I don't have to play it. Like just to watch it looks really really dope.
Yeah,
But even the
was it like a game or like
it's a game. Yeah, it's a game.
or is it like a more like a visual novel kind of game?
No, no, it's not a visual novel. It's kind of like, how do I put it?
Like what kind of game
Uh,
is it? Do you know?
no.
Because I don't know if you're talking about the same game, but another game I was interested in was 12 minutes,
Hmm.
where the guy was like stuck in a time loop and like he had to like figure it out like a detective thing. Like they had like a lot of celebrities
No,
playing the
yeah, yeah,
voice.
yeah. That's the one
Yeah,
with Daisy Ridley and Willem
right,
Dafoe.
right.
Yeah, no, it's not that one. But
Okay.
let me see. Xbox.
But yeah, it's I think Xbox had a lot of solid ones, a lot of solid games this time, and they did say a new game was going to come out every month, which is funny. This is what Nintendo said 4 years ago.
Oh, so the game is called Replaced.
Um,
Uh, huh.
Yeah, so the game is called Replaced. All right. Yeah, yeah. It's this game. Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, it looks
Oh, they
like
do with that the homeless looking dude.
yeah, 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 yeah. And
Yeah.
then because at first you think
No.
it's a 3D game, and then all of a sudden, like it just changes into that pixel art, and you're like, what the fuck? Like in a super like realistic like world.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I really dug that that art style and like the game looks fun as hell. Like
Yeah.
just the gameplay looks fun as hell and stuff like that. But yeah, that was the one that like surprised me the most from
Right on.
the E3 showing.
Yeah.
The one that like visually like struck me was Forza, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Yeah,
That's not fair.
that game just like dropped dead gorgeous.
Yeah. I mean, another one that I really like from Xbox was Plague Cell Requiem. That game.
Oh,
That game
Plague
was
Tale
very
2?
yeah Requiem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
just thought we didn't see any gameplay for it.
yeah,
Just
but
saw the
like
trailer.
the first one was really good. It was
Okay.
it was really surprising. I didn't think that game would be good, but it would be good.
Right.
And then so I'm actually excited for a second one. And I think, like I said, I think what Microsoft did at their announcement was really good. Their conference, which is they announced that a game was coming out every month, which is what they needed, and they announced a lot of games first on the Xbox. If you saw their showcase, you would come out thinking that Xbox is the console to get this generation, and it probably is, right? It probably is
Probably.
great.
Yeah.
It's a great value. Has a lot of games on it now. I don't really think there's gonna be droughts like that anymore. I'm saying, to be honest, it looks like Xbox is gonna be the one. Sony hasn't had that state of play yet. They might
Yeah.
wait to cool off because Ratchet and Clank just came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Ratchet and Clank was an amazing game too.
Yeah, it's a pretty good
And
game, but it's a lot of people are saying it's also a very short game.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it did come out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Xbox looking like a pretty good one right now. All I know is that the year they announced Fable is the year I'm getting the Xbox. Like, I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Yeah, because I'm a huge fan of Fable. Right, I started at Fable 2. Don't judge me, but I went back to Fable 1. Fable 3 was trash.
Right.
Okay, but it was on
Yeah.
PC at least.
I remember.
And yeah, man, I love those games. I love those games. I love the humor in those games. I'm happy that they revived it and just didn't let it die.
Right.
So when they announce it, even if I know I could play Fable on PC, which I know I probably will, I'm still getting an Xbox just to show that I support this move. Because, like I said, the only thing this company care about is your wallet. Now, my $500 Xbox purchase is only going to be a bucket in the $1 trillion of assets that Microsoft owns.
Oh, yeah.
But at least it's something.
This is something.
But yeah, this game that's coming up, the Eden Chronicle, looks pretty dope too.
Like, right, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, but it wasn't that. Yeah, it was the other one. But that one looks pretty. I like it, but sometimes, like especially with those games, like I've kind of like grown bored of like the turn by turn game shit. Like the only one that I'm like, like support when it comes to that is Pokemon.
Yeah, I was saying Pokemon's been a grind lately.
Yeah, and even that is becoming kind of like tiresome. You're just like,
it definitely is. But I heard Starfield is pretty good for the best.
Hopefully, because I see Bethesda, and I'm like, ugh.
But the thing is, this is from the exact people who made Skyrim and Fallout 4, and those are both some of the best in the franchise. Fallout 4 was one of the best Fallout games. Skyrim was the best Elder Scrolls game.
Right.
And so, and the reason why 4 is arguable is because some people say New Vegas is the best Fallout game. But yeah, so if it's those guys, I'm willing to give it a shot because, like I said 100 times, it maybe was a bad idea, but I bought Skyrim maybe 5 or 6 times, and so
I've never played Skyrim.
Okay, you can cut off the camera.
I've seen
it's been 10 years by now.
I've seen people play it, but like I've never been interested in playing it. If that makes sense.
Fair enough. Like I came in on Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which was in my opinion the best one prior to Skyrim.
Right.
But Skyrim, there's a level that now when it comes to graphics and the programming, it's not good. Okay, like it has bugs, always had bugs. Right, we know that.
Yeah, of course.
But when it came to the story and when it came to the care they put in building the world, it was a different level. They made. I don't know if you guys remember Far Cry. What was that called? Primal. But
Yeah.
just like Far Cry Primal, they made their own language for Skyrim.
Right.
Their own written language, their own spoken language. The dragons were speaking it. Even Parthenax was the voice of Mario, Super Mario from Nintendo. The guy who plays his voice played Parthenax, the dragon, and it was pretty cool. It was a pretty good game, especially at the time. It won God knows how many awards. It's really worth a play in my opinion. But it's easy, really easy to get lost in the world because they did put a lot of things in the world, and that's why I can see why it's taken them so long to make a Skyrim 6. But if it's from those guys in particular, I'll give this game a shot. I'll give Starfield a chance because at first I was like, "You, if it's Bethesda, it's kind of I said they've been using the same engine for like 20 years,
Right.
with slight patches. They've they've made a lot of jank, a lot of jank,
Mhm.
right? And but the one thing I can't say they're bad at is world building. Like they're really good at crafting stories. They're really good at building worlds. And so if this is another one in that vein, I'll give it a shot. Even though I'll be honest, like I said, I probably shouldn't. I probably shouldn't, but I
Yeah.
will. I will because I don't learn like this.
I'm very like hesitant to like even like until I see reviews. That's when probably like, all right, I'll give it a chance. But until then, like
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. Yeah, that's definitely fair assessment. Definitely fair because I beat myself every day for buying Skyrim 7 times because I should have supported that. Yeah, because that only led to Fallout 76 in the end, right? Okay, well we can move on to that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think overall, Xbox had a great presentation. I think they won last year simply because of, not last year, the year before last, simply because of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
But this time, I think they did a really good job doing what they need to do, and we're showing games.
They hardly talked, and all that they were doing was showing games, and that's what people come to the
And that's
fucking to E3 is to see fucking games.
Sometimes less is more.
Right.
Sometimes less is more, and that's exactly what it is.
Right.
They come to see games, and that one girl, I think what she had in the marketing,
Uh,
the black chick,
I forgot her name.
the one that's clearly attractive.
Yeah.
And everyone keeps reminding her of that every time they see her.
Yep.
Like
But
they go for her in the games.
yeah. And they were really fucking smart too that they made an extended showcase after like it was like E3's last day, and so they
Right.
separated it so that devs and everybody got their chance to get interviewed and talk about their games. They didn't do it in the original showcase, which is great. Like that, it shows like we're giving the devs, time to like talk about their games and more about the games, but we're not gonna have you sit through that shit but we want you to see the game, so we'll separate these two events.
Right.
Which is fucking smart. Whoever gave them that fucking idea, they deserve a raise. Because let me tell you, Koch Media or Cock Media, whatever the fuck you want to call that.
It's Coke Media.
Yeah. Actually, they came out and said it's called Koch Media. So because they did a whole showcase as well to show what games that they were talking about. The whole showcase was nothing but talking.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's bad. And there was nothing. There was probably like 10 or 15 seconds of shown games, of actual games.
Right.
So it's like what the fuck, and it was like the head of the company talking to different developers, and them telling you about nothing, really. And you're like, what the fuck is this showcase, dude? Yeah. And so that was probably for me, the worst out of all of E3.
That's hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, like this next slide right here is pretty much like the biggest announcement they had, which is Starfield, Redfall, Halo Infinite, Back 4 Blood, which is like Left 4 Dead. I think it's actually by the same creators, right? Yeah. Back 4 Blood is pretty much Left 4 Dead. Only with vampires. And Jack Sparrow is coming to to Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty much the So those are pretty the biggest announcements for Xbox.
Oh wait.
Themselves.
Did you guys talk about Starfield already?
Yeah, I mean it looks like a good game, but at the end of the day, it's Bethesda. Take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to it, especially after Fallout 76.
Exactly.
But yeah, so they had a good one. I think they said announcing that they have a game every month, like Nintendo. Definitely the play you need to make.
Right.
Game Pass on top of that, amazing. Especially a lot of those games are play day one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's good that Sony wasn't there because I don't think they could have followed that up. That's a pretty to have all those games day one for $10 a month. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cheaper than Netflix.
Yeah, it is.
Like that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the extra games that are not first party but are coming to Game Pass is Among Us with 15 player lobbies.
Right.
Shredders, which is a snowboarding game. Sable, which is an RPG. 12 Minutes, which is the game I said I wanted to play. These are indie games, by the way.
Right.
Well, except for you like people, I guess. Hades, which is 2020's game of the year because it's an amazing game. You should play it. It's by the same studio who made Bastion, if you remember that game from 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And then Yakuza Like a Dragon. I heard it was pretty good. I heard it wasn't as good as the normal Yakuza games, but it was meant to be different.
Oh, really good. A lot of people got into it.
Yeah, so these are good. Again, so good indie games, except Yakuza's not indie game. Some good indie games coming to Game Pass, only making the value better.
Right.
$10 a month, any game you want. If you ain't got a job yet, try it. There you go.
All right. So let's move on to the biggest, the winner, right, of E3, Nintendo.
Our personal winner.
Yeah. Okay, personal winner. Okay.
Because like I said, to non-gamers, it was Xbox.
Right.
Xbox, because to be honest, Xbox probably had the most variety out of their showcase, the Nintendo. Because Nintendo had a lot of genres, but Nintendo has that Nintendo flair, where it's like it kind of all looks childish. But Microsoft just had variety. So a lot of non-gamers like Microsoft. But yeah, so the first thing he did was announce Kazuya for Smash Bros. Kazuya is from Tekken. He killed Ganondorf and then Captain Falcon. And then he tried to kill Kirby, but Kirby folded away.
Yeah, which everybody predicted. Everybody predicted.
Yeah, exactly. Kirby with the reeds.
Yep.
And so so that was unexpected. He looks like a combo based character. He looks like
he is definitely a combo based character.
Well, we'll see.
He has a 10-hit string.
No. But the thing is, when it comes to Nintendo, it might be a 10-hit string that's activated off of one button. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so. I feel like
sometimes they do that.
Yeah, but I feel like they're because knowing Sakurai, he's gonna treat it like a fighting game, like he did with Terry, where you have to put the inputs to get certain moves, right?
Yeah,
like how you have to put it. Yeah, you have to put input certain moves so that you can get like the more powerful versions of certain moves in the of his moveset.
Yeah, because I'm saying if it's not that, then it might be one of those cases where it's it might be one of those cases where all his moves can just string together, but that's like his whole arsenal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like how he has different moves in total that he can do one at a time. 10 hit string might just be like all those chained together.
Because Sakurai showed up as the titles of the moves of what he's able to do. There's a lot.
Yeah.
And I think those are just all inputted moves that you're supposed to do.
Yeah, overall we'll see. This character looks like he'll be strong. We might have another Bayonetta situation on hands where a character comes in and ruins the game.
Yeah, because because he has lasers. He has basically
he has a transformation.
Approach from close. Yeah, he has transformation, and he also has armor as well. Like Donkey Kong punched him, and then he activated armor. But I think he has to be in demon mode.
I think he also has that ability to auto turn around.
Yeah,
and I also think so he has the ability to auto turn around, and I think at the same time he's heavy. Yeah, I think he might be the same as a Terry Ryu and Ken. And if he can do all that with all that, we gotta see his recovery. If his recovery is godlike, especially because the demon form has wings, then no,
Yeah,
clearly S tier.
I feel his recovery is gonna be good just because of the damn wings. Any character that has
Right.
wings has
Usually have
pretty
good
good recovery.
recovery, yeah. And so it's it's looking like a pay to win situation out here, guys. I don't know about this. We'll see.
Yeah.
But then
Do
again, we
you
also said
do you
Joker was like Bayonetta, so yeah.
do you still have that faith in the character that you thought that you bet on that it would be taking one of the spots?
No. I'm putting my money on Crash Bandicoot now.
Really?
I am. I think the last guy really crashed because, like, if you guys were alive during the '90s, these guys were going at it. Like, Crash was probably the bane of Nintendo's existence, and but then again, that might be also the reason why he's not in the game. So, so who knows? It could also be Ratchet and Clank. We don't know. It could be anyone, really.
Yeah, really. I mean, for me, because for those who don't know, the reason Kazuya's in the fucking game is because of Bandai Namco.
Right.
Like that's literally their fucking character.
And
it was only a matter of time to get another Bandai representative other than Pac-Man.
Right, and that's why I want to believe that it's going to be it's either going to be a character from Soul Calibur or a character from Dead or Alive.
That's what I think, that it might be Nightmare from Soul Calibur. Because you say nah, but that's a I mean, when you think about Soul Calibur, you think about Nightmare. Like that's the most like the character that everyone thinks about is the guy who has the huge ass sword with the eye in it.
Yeah, because the thing is that like there are characters that are obviously a better choice,
right?
But considering the way they dress,
right,
they are not going to be the game. Like obviously Ivy from Soul Calibur, not going to be the game.
No,
obviously like any Dead or Alive girl is not going to be the game.
Right, because
right. So
it's the My incident too. Not for little boys and girls.
Right, exactly. Like if I'm just telling you right now, if my can't make it in the game, Ivy and any Dead or Alive girl is not going to make it in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. And so it's like, and so that's why I was saying like a couple months ago, I was saying it was going to be Ryu from Dead or Alive, because we're just the reason we say this because it looks like they're going the path of like great fighting games, and Dead or Alive, Virtual Fighter, Soul Calibur are like the only real remaining like highest tier fighting games that actually were up there at one point.
Yeah, I just for me, like, since it is like Bandai, like for me, like a safe bet would be Nightmare, right? Because also if you notice, like the recent characters that they've been going for are villains, and Nightmare is kind of a villain. He's like anti, right? He's like an anti-hero type of character. So like I would think, especially another sword character.
But like be Dante, like people think.
Right. Yeah, but again, he's like tied with PlayStation, and thus far the only PlayStation representative we do have technically is Persona, which is Joker.
Yeah, sure.
And so I feel like I think they're like, all right, we got Joker, and that's all. Especially because that's also like the only way that they were able to get that was because Sakurai is like really good friends with the developers of Persona, and plus they're in Japan. So
I think that's why I'm so I think it's going to be from like something like Ryu, because Dead or Alive is from Team Ninja, and they've been working pretty close with them lately.
Yeah.
And so
the only thing that also people are saying that it might be Urshifu as the last spot, because right, but like because we haven't gotten a new generational Pokemon, and since we are missing that in the game, that people are saying it's Urshifu, especially his evolved form, since that is a fighting.
But that's the thing though, right? They only really put in Pokemon that are like popular, like Greninja and Mewtwo. Like those two are like extremely popular.
Right.
They don't just put in any old Pokemon. Like I don't think anyone cares about this. Like a lie. I know. I think he's probably like popular than most Pokemon. But is he in the same league as Charizard, Mewtwo,
No, but
Greninja?
the thing is,
No.
they think they need a representative for that new generation, and the
Yeah.
most likely candidate is Urshifu.
That's what you mean, but
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
like
we don't
also
need more
like
Pokemon.
we just got. I mean, the if we were to choose, obviously it would be um
King Boo,
what happened?
King Boo.
No, Cinderace.
I can see him.
Yeah,
Soccer,
you would think because he's also like the jumpy fighting type of character, but like we just got Incineroar before him.
but you know who else has been putting a lot of work lately? Pauline. You might see her in the game.
This fool.
Right? Okay, she came back from the gutter. Okay.
We'll see. I mean, people are saying the other thing that people are saying we're definitely getting Waluigi because we need another Nintendo representative. But I
The whole game
don't
is
know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was definitely a surprise. I didn't think they were going to be go Tekken. But now,
Right.
but like I said, now that they opened the gate to combo, Dante is a very real possibility now. Because that was a one reason why I didn't think Dante was going to be in the game because he was combo based.
Yeah.
Now they have a combo based character. They could easily use that to go into Dante.
Yeah. I mean, but for me, I don't think that's likely just because not too long ago we got Capcom representatives.
Well,
So
I just say Dante because he's so popular.
right. He is super popular. I just
Yeah.
for the last spot that and for whatever we might know, this might be Sakurai's last go of it,
Yeah, sure.
right? Because
But he
he's
got
saying
like
it's
what,
his
15
last
years before
go.
he retires.
Right. He's saying it's his last go. For the last character, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Right. It could be one of his characters. Like he specifically reserved the spot for a character that he made. And it could be reserved for that.
Yeah, like I said, this is decided on years ago, most likely. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
it was decided years ago. Like all these characters were decided years ago.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see.
Wait, how many characters left?
One.
Just one? I think it was the last one.
No,
No,
Kazuya was the second to last.
Fighter Pass 2 has 6 characters, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other one had 5. This one has 6.
Right.
All right then. So other things they announced on Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, it was
Mario Party.
Mario Party Superstars, which I hate because they just left Super Mario Party out to die. It's 10 million copies, and they just said for effort. So this is the Mario Party that actually has the online play that they use.
Didn't they give an update to the other Mario Party to get online?
But the thing is, with Super Mario Party, you can't play every game mode online.
Oh yeah, I know that.
But Mario Party Superstars, you can.
Oh yeah. 100 plus, Ken.
Yeah,
100 plus.
Exactly. So you sell 10 million copies of Super Mario Party and just left them high to dry. This is the one where you have to play online.
But it also makes sense because it's been 3 years since that game released. So I mean, I see because I see a lot of people complain like, why didn't you just make this like an update to the our rate? Well, it's been 3 years. Have you forgotten? Like, but for them it's just like, well, it's about time, motherfuckers, we get a new one.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's one. They are supposed to bring back older mini games, older boards, older mechanics. Yeah. GameCube, 64, Wii, all that stuff. So it sounds pretty cool. I might get it. They got a dodge a bullet. I was out to get Super Mario Party, but they convinced me not to now. Now the second one, another one they revealed was Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, or the sequel.
Yeah.
It's supposed to come out in 2022. The game looks good. I mean, it looks like they added some stuff, but I personally think that this is going to be a Switch Pro exclusive.
Really?
I do, because one, Nintendo likes to do stupid shit like that, and two, there's too many rumors of a Switch Pro that happen too many times for it not to exist.
Right.
They're gonna announce the Switch Pro around holiday season, most likely, or when this game is about to come out. And the reason why is because since the beginning of the 21st century, every Nintendo console that has started with a Zelda game has sold well. Right? Period. There's no way around it. And so I think their plan is to hold this game off as long as possible until the Switch Pro is ready to do so. And then they're going to put this with it and say it's a Switch Pro exclusive. Kind of like what they did with Monster Hunter a while ago, when they made the new 3DS XL. So just for Monster Hunter, and that was kind of it. There was like 2 games that used the extra power, and that's it.
Right.
And then Mario Rabbids. This was actually shown at Ubisoft. Nintendo actually leaked it that same morning, though. Was Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. This is one I didn't expect to get a sequel this soon, but Mario Rabbids did sell really well on the Switch, and it was a really good game. I played it.
Plus, it's not Nintendo making it; it's Ubisoft making it.
Right. It's
So
Ubisoft
I would think they would make it pretty soon because it's Ubisoft that's making it.
right. Yeah, sure. They do like to just destroy their games year after year.
Right.
But yeah, and so of course, the complaint is still there. Too many rabbits.
Too many rabbits.
Yeah,
what I like about this one that I didn't like to the prior one is that you can move freely now.
Right.
Well, till that zone, right? Because it looks like there is like a marker, like you can't pass. But I mean, now you can move freely. Like it's not, oh, I have to wait, like XCOM, where I have to wait, make the attack, wait, make the attack.
Right. But like I said, I'm looking forward to it. The first one was a good game. Rabbit Rosalina is back. Rabbit is in there now. Rabbit Luma is there. Which I'm not gonna lie, Rabbit Luma looks funny as hell.
Yeah, and then there's a new rabbit with like green and black hair, which no one knows who it is.
That looks like it could be Bowser. I'm not gonna lie.
You think it's Bowser?
It could be the rabbit version of Bowser, yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Or it could be Bowser, or it could be Bowser's baby.
I mean, it looks like a girl.
Think so?
Yeah, it's a girl.
I mean, they have so many different Bowser children. It could be out of them.
Yeah, I guess.
Who knows what that is? it could be something crazy too. You never know.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting. I just don't want that many rabbits in there because like I get what they're going for in the game, but Ubisoft and the rabbits are not funny. They're not funny at all. Like, so I don't really want to see them there. I just want to play the game. But then again, I'm not a kid, so maybe they're funny to kids.
Maybe.
I mean, the kids is a big pull.
I'm not saying that they had a show that failed at one point, but
yeah.
Yeah. So going back to Square Enix for a second, like, this is what Guardians of the Galaxy cloud version.
Yeah. For Nintendo.
I'm guessing for the Switch. Yeah, of course. Yes. I think what Plague Tale is supposed to be cloud version too, right? They're supposed to do a few of them, not a cloud version.
Yes.
You guys don't know. Essentially, you just play the game. What you're downloading is like a shortcut to the cloud version of the game, and you're playing it from the cloud to your Switch. So you don't really have the game on your Switch.
Right.
They've been doing this in Japan for a long time, since the beginning of the Switch.
Xbox.
Right. But I mean, it really shows you. It's like I was saying during the Breath of the Wild showcase. When you saw just how jagged the game looks.
Right.
Is this something Nintendo should be proud of? Like, where their console isn't powerful enough to play games. Like, they're it's so weak that they have to do this kind of stuff just to make sure some other games can be played. Like, it clearly shows that you're falling way too far behind in this graphic thing.
Which is why they desperately need to take out that Switch Pro.
Yeah, and they need to make sure that thing is beefy too, not some old bullshit. This is getting ridiculous.
Which hopefully those rumors are true, where it does have that DLSS.
Right. Definitely needing them. Definitely.
Yeah. But I mean, even if it wasn't on, even if it's on the Switch. Like, when I was seeing the Square Enix presentation, there was a few hiccups in the gameplay.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But again, it's early still, technically. So we will see. But there was already hiccups just like in the fighting scenes.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, cloud version. Like I said, I just said we're gonna have to see. Just really gonna have to see.
But I mean, it does because a lot of people are comparing it to Avengers.
Right.
But the difference between it is that you're not actually going from character to character. You're actually you're playing as Peter Quill, giving command actions to the other characters.
Okay, so it's kind of like Final Fantasy, but without the character switcher.
Right, and then you give actions while you're fighting as your Peter Quill, and I mean, there's that banner, and there also people are saying like, oh, these are the the rentable versions of the hero characters. But what a lot of people don't know who are not into comics, these are actually the comic versions of the characters.
Yeah.
So of why people are like, why does Drax look like that, or why does Gamora look like that, and shit like that, because they're not used to seeing those characters in the comics. In the comics,
Right.
they actually look like that.
Yeah, like they can't really use like Chris Pratt's likeness and all that. Star Lord doesn't have brown hair.
They would have to give up a left nut for that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But yeah, so on to one of the bigger announcements of the night, which was Metroid Dread was actually announced.
Yeah, and freaking Josh was here and be jumping for joy.
Yeah, so it was actually announced it's going to be released this year. So Metroid Dread has been in development hell for like 11 years.
For the Game Boy Advance.
Dread? Oh, yeah, 15 years.
Yeah.
The last time they mentioned it was 10 or 11 years.
Right.
And so this is the sequel. So prior to this game, it's Metroid Fusion.
Yeah, well, it's after Metroid Fusion, like it's a
right,
continuation of it.
Right. And so this actually continues the story.
Right.
If you ever play Metroid Fusion,
yeah,
I mean, no, you have to go. If you didn't play it, go find a Game Boy and go find Metroid Fusion.
What I also noticed
that Nintendo's taking out these emulation sites.
Right. But I also noticed that some of the gameplay has hints of Samus Returns gameplay.
Oh yeah, no, the counters, the countering and all that.
Countering, yeah. I was just like, isn't that from Samus Returns?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think what happened was they released Samus Return,
right?
Because one that was like one that most people didn't play, but
right.
It was they released it as I think a test for the franchise.
Yeah.
And then once it did well, they're like, okay, then we'll make another one. Which is good. Like I said, the story needed to continue. Because like I said, after what happened in Fusion, it's really hard to tell where they were going to take the story. So I'm glad they have a definitive continuation now. Apparently, this is supposed to be the end of the Metroid saga. When I say Metroid saga, I don't mean Metroid the game. I mean Metroid as in the creature in the game. So they're not going to be dealing with them anymore.
Right.
After this game, supposedly.
And we go back to Prime.
Right. And that's another thing too. I'm glad they made this game in the absence of Prime 4 because it has been a really long time since Prime 4 was even talked about.
And that is fucking smart on Nintendo's part. Like, hey, and plus they're being very transparent with you. Like, they don't have to be transparent with you. I mean, they haven't been transparent with Bayonetta, but as of today, like he's like one of the presenters of Nintendo, but he wasn't this time for E3, but he usually is. He's like the guy with the white guy with glasses that always sometimes the translator.
The translator,
yeah. And he actually came out and saying that like the development of Bayonetta 3 is going smoothly.
Yeah, same thing that they said last year when
right.
Yeah, 2 years ago when Astral Chain came out.
Yeah.
The thing, I'm gonna say the same thing about Bayonetta 3 is that it's hard to take it anywhere without it being broken. Because if you play Bayonetta 2, she essentially fought the god of everything and won. And so it's like once you get there, then what?
They're loved, right?
Right. Then what do you do? To be fair, she did have the help from the other half of him. Like, he got split to two, and then one half helped her, one half hurt her. Was trying to fight her. But the thing is, like, it kind of just like Bayonetta was a game that you could tell was never supposed to be serious.
Right.
It was never supposed to be one of those games that had like multiple sequels. But people liked it. There was no Devil May Cry for the longest time, so people played Bayonetta, and that's where we are now.
I mean, they could treat it like Marvel Comics, right? Where now because of like Immortal Hulk, the one above all, and the one below all, like they could treat it like that. Well, she faced the god, but like he's supposed to represent the good, and now she has to fight the god that like represents the bad.
Oh no, he was the god of everything.
No, but you know what? Like in Marvel Comics, the one above all, before the one below all was presented, he was like everything, right?
True,
and then all of a sudden they presented in the Immortal Hulk. Oh, now there's a one below all. Like now that they could probably do that, like the Marvel Comics way, where it's like, oh, but now you actually have to fight this god.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, like
Right.
going back to Metroid, it's just one of those things where it was kind of unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
And people pretty much lost their shit when they saw it.
A
Which was
lot,
the
a lot of people lost their shit on a lot of the games that Nintendo announced. I mean, there was
yeah,
a lot of like, what the fuck, this game? And
yeah.
like going around in Nintendo, like
But
more than any of the showcases.
this is why I fear it the most is because we only got this game because the Wii U flopped so hard.
Yeah,
That's why we got this game.
right.
If the Wii U didn't flop as hard as it flopped, we wouldn't have gotten any of these games.
I mean,
Right.
we are getting finally the last Wii U port into the Switch, which is Fatal Frame.
Yeah.
Like that is the last one. After that, we have all the Wii U games on the Switch.
Yeah. And so it's just crazy that, this is what it comes to make these companies listen. But it happened, it flopped. We're getting Metroid Dread. I can't wait to play it. I want to see what their story goes. Fix that frame rate. And
Yeah, they need a. That was my only gripe with it, was the frame rate and if they can up the graphical quality of it. There's some like even like the theatrical scenes, they were a little janky. Like I was just like, they can like. I mean, this is shit that I feel like I can see it on the 3DS. Like I don't want to see this shit on the 3DS. I want to see this on my 4K TV. Like
Yeah.
you should up the graphics a bit.
Yeah. And then if you ever have the time, go on YouTube and watch reactions of people finding out that Samus is a girl. It's just hilarious.
Oh my god! I mean, that happens every time a fucking new Metroid game comes out. Wait, she's a girl?
Exactly, it's hilarious, bro. It's like you just
I
have no
remember
idea. Like
when
they're
that
so
happened to me.
surprised. Yeah, they're so surprised. Like, what? That's what she's.
Sometimes they make the connection. Oh, is that why that other character from that Smash game? That's Zero Suit. Oh my god!
I know. Right? Like it's hilarious, man. They see
Yeah.
the suit, assume it's a dude.
Yeah.
Then they see it without the suit, and it's like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
And then continuing on that line, the game came up for pre-order. Special edition sold out. Amiibo sold out everywhere immediately. Right.
So,
almost was able to get it on Walmart, but before I could check out, it was sold out. So
I actually got one, but I actually got the double pack. So I got the Amiibo with the special edition, and the only way I was able to get that was through Amazon Japan.
okay.
So I actually sent the link to Josh, and by the time that I sent the link to Josh wasn't able to get the double pack. He was only able to get the special edition.
Yeah.
Because by the time that he tried to check out, they wouldn't let him. So it was gone by then. But I mean, I follow people what they should do. Like if you're expecting a game and you want a game, there are sites or like Twitter accounts where people dedicate to tell you when a certain thing goes up at that second. The one person that I follow is called Wario64. You'll hear him on every like notable game channel because a lot of people get their news from there, or on live news. And he at the very second something comes up, I don't know how he does it. Like this dude has I swear he has to have a fucking program that tells him every fucking major website that comes out with some shit right at the second. Right. Yeah. And then and then once he puts it on Twitter, you better get that shit. Like you better hit that link. If you don't, you're asked out. And that's how I was able to get it to Japan. I already had a Japan account with Amazon, and then I was just like, oh, I just hit the link, and I checked out right there, and I sent it to Josh, and Josh was like, I'm going, but I don't know what the fuck to do. But at least he was able to get the special edition.
What does the special edition bring?
The special edition, what's in the photo, it brings the art book, which is 190, almost 200 pages of art. It comes with those Metro cards. It comes with the steel book and the game.
Oh, so anything about the Amiibo?
The Amiibo actually has a function as well. I think Samus gives you extra missiles, and the robot gives you extra energy, and you can only use it once per day.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, so pay to win.
Pay to win.
Pay to win.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, that's Metroid. Good luck.
Yeah.
October 8th. If you want to play the game, you'll be able to play it. You get
Oh, yeah.
You can get it. You can get the digital version on eShop no matter what.
Right. For
But-
me, like as me, like I'm keeping the shit into my fucking box seal,
Right.
and I'm
Right.
just gonna buy it, physically, on different, because I'm just like, well, I already got that. I know that shit's. I mean, right now, scalpers are trying to hawk this shit from $350, and just a special edition
Well,
alone.
those are the one game for Scout Switch.
Yeah.
And that's Bayonetta 1 physical.
Right.
Right. That's it. You want to know why? Because you can't get it anywhere but that
Right.
limited edition from Japan.
Right, and that's also that's what I was telling Josh. Like, Metroid isn't a bankable game franchise. Like, I think even like the most like sold Metroid game didn't even pass 3 million. So it was just like
Yeah.
they don't. I don't think Nintendo was thinking
Well,
that they're gonna make a huge
the thing
amount
is
of the special
that
editions.
there are some caveats to that.
Right.
Like you're right, and the most popular Metroid game didn't pass 3 million.
Right.
But a lot of that could be attributed to the Metroid games hasn't really been made
Oh yeah,
for
consistently
a
like
long
that.
time.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like the biggest growth of the gaming industry was like the Wii era to like what the Wii U era,
Right.
and then it's been kind of the pace slowed down, but it's still growing. But that whole time, you really haven't had a Metroid game. I mean, you had Samus Return, that's a remake, right? And that came out at the end of the 3DS's life cycle. So when people were already selling their 3DS to get Switches, like that's what I get.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so it's possible to sell more, but again, this is not really an A tier game for Nintendo. This is a B tier game for Nintendo.
Right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we did it.
Mhm.
This is the game you cannot release in the same year as Legend of Zelda.
No, hell no. That's why they did it this year.
Right, exactly. Like
They're
you
not
can't.
stupid.
Yeah, you can. There are some games you just can't release side by side, and they know what games those are, right? Like you can't release Mario Golf next to Mario Kart.
Oh no.
You can't release Metroid game, almost any game next to Zelda.
Like that term that we've tossed around before, market cannibalism. Like you do not want to kill the sales of your own game from your own company.
Right. Because people are going to be looking forward to some games more than others. They're going to be reading about those games more than others. They're going to be talking about those games more.
Right.
And so if you release like these sports games, like the day they announced like another Strikers game, Mario Strikers, because soccer is the most popular sport in the world, and that game was the best-selling sports game, I think, besides tennis.
Yeah,
Or was
golf
it,
will be eclipsed.
yeah. Besides most of the other sports games, you can't really release another sports game next to Strikers, right?
Right.
And so it's like it's just one of those things where Nintendo is not dumb. They're gonna know what game to release and talk about.
They've been pretty smart so far.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the only thing that I guess you can guess is a little questionable, but I mean, again, it has its arguments, right? But is the Pokemon, right, from Diamond and Pearl, and then Arceus, about like what 2 or 3 months, separated from each other.
Yeah. But I think that's also smart because Diamond and Pearl, even though it was one of the better games, it wasn't. I mean, the game is not up there with the other ones. So a lot of people,
in comparison, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then Arceus, because it's a whole new type of Pokemon game, you kind of have to give it its space.
And it also, again, because it has its arguments on both sides, it also is a tie-in to that.
Right, that too, and I think that's why they released it so close to it as well.
Exactly.
Because it's like you have to explain who Arceus is before you make them buy a game about that that Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I understand why they did it. I mean, it's pretty smart moves. But yes, I mean, can't wait till October 8th. We're gonna see. And then now going to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
So after the 100 millionth game release, he decides to retire. He retired because he says he was tired of making the games. And those games have made him a lot of money over the years.
Gangbusters.
But people are saying that it might be because people found out about his political views. And so he pretty much only financially supports Republicans. All right. But he constantly praises I guess the LGBT community.
Oh, okay.
And so people are like wondering like why would you praise the LGBT community but give money to a political party that's actively working against them? And so he's been getting attacked over it on online, and people are saying that might be the real reason he's quitting. Um, I don't want people to quit over dumb reasons like that. I mean, of course, LGBT should have rights, and you shouldn't support a party that does not want to give them that, or you should support people who don't give them that. But at the same time, I don't think you want them to quit for that reason. But and the reason I do want him to quit is because he's making too many of these goddamn games. I mean, we got a game, one of these games, like almost like once a year for like the last 10 years.
I mean, recently we just got another one, right?
Yeah, I think it was like distant location or something like that.
Yeah, like it's at a fucking mall or some shit like that.
Yeah, just no, just stop, just stop. You need to let that franchise cool off. Yeah,
yeah, and I think that franchise had its moment, and then like I haven't heard a kid mention Five Nights at Freddy's in a long ass time.
It's
and right now, every kid that I come across, what are you playing? Fortnite.
Because the thing is, like, it's one of those games that ran its course. Like, it did it.
It had its moment to shine.
Yeah,
and it's gone by the wayside.
It's like Undertale. It had its years. People love the music. He got to make some music for Pokemon. Game over. You know what I mean? Like, it's over. Like, yeah, just said.
Undertale is weird because it has its cult following, right? Plus,
what I'm saying is that like once it like ran its course in the spotlight, it's still gonna be there.
Oh
it's not it's not something you should continue to capitalize on.
Yeah,
like, you should evolve.
For me, like Five Nights at Freddy's, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be like a group of fans, but like I don't think it's gonna have like that cult following like that Undertale has, right? Or like
because the thing with Undertale is that he made one fucking game.
Exactly. Exactly.
But with this Five Nights at Freddy, he's like what? He's 12th, 11th in the game. Like,
and then there's mobile and all those.
Right. Like it's just like bro. Like I understand. I like your passion. The game was a great idea, but give it a minute. Give it a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. And then Cyberpunk news. So there's actually a lot of CD Projekt Red stuff. So one. Investors are calling for the CEO of CD Projekt Red to step down for obviously Cyberpunk and the debacle surrounding it. But more importantly than all of that, than real world problems, is Cyberpunk is back on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So if you want to play a broken game that might break your console, there you go. No, just kidding. No, they started patching it. They started fixing it. The game, and this really sucks too because the story of this game is great.
Yeah,
the acting in this game is great. The gameplay of the game was pretty good. The only downside is that it was so exactly. It was so jank that it's just like it's not working. And it sucks to see the love that they put into the game, or at least they tried to put into.
Right.
In the art though, getting the original creator of Cyberpunk to help him. You can tell that really helped to push this game forward. But
exactly.
At the end of the day, it doesn't stop all the technical issues.
It just the sad thing is that this game had potential, and
it had so much too. It had so much.
It had so much potential. I was actually looking forward, even to like the multiplayer and like building up your character and going through the different paths and stuff like that. Had
this game not released broken, it would have been a serious contender for 2021.
Oh hell yes!
But because it did, what happened. It's not even in the top 2. So it sucks. But I still think once they fix it, like Arkham Knight debacle, it's still worth giving a chance.
Oh yeah, I saw my position haven't opened.
Yeah, but but I would completely understand if you don't want to give it. I get it. But yeah, it sucks. But it's back on the PlayStation Store. Check it out if you want to.
Right.
Good luck with that. Windows 11. Who saw this coming?
Windows 11.
Windows 11.
Eventually, I mean, shit. Eventually, that shit's gonna come out.
It's actually supposed to come out this month.
Really?
You already have it?
Yeah. No.
No, motherfucker. He said it's supposed to come out this month.
No, he says leak. Oh, no.
Yeah,
No,
leak.
Yeah,
But
so
you know how Kenneth is.
no.
Great.
And so so it's supposed to come out this month on the 24th. But they have been hinting at it for like a few years now. What do you guys think about that? Did you think they were gonna stick with Windows 10 forever?
No, because it's fucking Microsoft. They're gonna update their the operating system eventually, right? Because who are they also competing against? Apple.
Right.
And Apple has their fucking update.
They're making their own chips now.
Huh?
Apple make their own chips now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, they're how often do they update their fucking operating system? Like, of course, Windows had to do it at some point.
True. Yeah, I think I like the fact that there's gonna be a Windows 11. The only thing that I have a problem with is like every Windows, it's like there's usually a problem in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it's a problem all the way through, like Vista.
Right.
And the only downside is that they are going to stop support for Windows 7 and 8 and 8.1 in like the next 3 years. So it's pretty much just going to be 10 or 11. Which one?
Who the fuck was still using 7?
I mean, 7 was actually one of the better ones.
Well, I know that, but like, who the fuck is still using it? Because I mean,
a lot of companies.
I guess
that's pretty much it. I mean, people who just didn't feel like going to Windows 10. Windows 10 was definitely a good one, but I think if I had to place it, I'd probably say like it's probably second place after XP.
Right.
XP was easily the best one.
Oh yeah.
7 was probably right after XP, and then Vista was probably the worst. Vista. And 8 was decent, but it was like whatever. Yeah. 8.1 was pretty decent too, but those are mid. 10 was like above average, but XP was. And so so they plan on releasing it, and so some of the demos went out, but some of the elements got leaked, like the UI, the start menu, and such. Again, like every Windows, they try to make it more sleek, and they're finally stopping with the Internet Explorer. But they try to make it more sleek. But the problem with Windows is that it tends to have too much bloatware. Like it tends to have stuff that no one cares about at all. And so all the sleekness kind of goes away when you see how heavy it is on your hard drive.
Right.
And yeah, but that's pretty much it. We don't know the details yet. Microsoft just teased it a few times. Like I said, released a demo. And that's about it.
What do you think about it though? Like as to like the newer things that will come up to Windows 11? Because I'm barely learning about this now. Like so what like I guess a casual person that's into PCs that does see the operating systems and stuff like that and the apps that it comes with and whatnot, what curtails me to want to update to Windows 11?
So that's the thing, we don't really know.
I thought some of the leaks would give.
All right, we haven't really gotten that much yet.
Okay.
But it's mostly what it looks like so far are graphical changes. They simplified the start menu, because I don't know if you know about the Windows 10 start menu, but you got like the start menu, you got the little side start menu over here with the all those little extra parts where you can cut off the system and all that. So they're simplifying that, which is really nice. All the folders pretty much look the same. Most of the UI, the stuff look the same. They started adding some stuff like, I don't know if you guys noticed, with the last update of Windows 10, they added that little widget to have like the temperature and stuff outside.
I was like, why is that shit on the bottom?
Yeah,
under my screen.
Yeah, and so the one thing I could hope so is that they don't try to be dumb about it and make it like Windows 10. What I mean by that is that if you remember, Windows 10 was made for both PC and mobile devices.
Yeah.
And so like it kind of has a little bit both, where you can switch it to like a tablet mode and all that stuff, right?
In the middle of it, it was also so that you can make it compatible with your Xbox.
Right.
That was like a big push for them.
Right. And so with that, it's just been one of those things where, sometimes it's just because it's a little jank because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they fix that. It's supposed to be better snap features. So I don't know if you guys use Snap, but when you drag a window to the edge of your screen, it'll just tell you, do you want to snap it here, take up half the screen, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna allow you to kind of switch screens easier with that with the interface.
Okay.
I mean, it is better if you go check out what I'm talking about. They're supposed to have new sounds and stuff. They're gonna update it with the Windows, with the Microsoft Xbox. They're gonna update that, but who knows? To be honest, like I said, the last one is supposed to be allegedly it's supposed to release on the 24th. That's when Microsoft is supposed to officially reveal it. But yeah, well,
Reveal it and shadow drop it that same day.
yeah, allegedly. So we'll see. We'll see. And they're supposed to make apps better too, but we never really gave details on that.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to integrate Xbox games into Windows by default.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Xbox app. I mean, so the Xbox has to be better integrated. So it's supposed to be like I guess they're going to continue the ecosystem route,
Right.
and then but it's supposed to be better integration. So we'll see. Give me
Hopefully, they have the better
HoloLens,
store.
and we'll be happy. Give me HoloLens, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's by the way.
Okay.
All right. So move to streaming. All right. So so during E3, Netflix had its Geek Week, right?
Right.
They revealed a lot of stuff. So one of the biggest things they revealed was actually the Cuphead show. So this show who's been in development almost as long as the DLC
Sure.
is it's supposed to be it still doesn't have a release date, by the way. But apparently Wayne Brady is supposed to play King Dice. Yeah. And so the teaser was essentially, King Dice hosting his talk show. Which is pretty interesting. So
Right.
I didn't expect to see Wayne Brady ever again after Black Lightning, but
Was he in that?
yeah, he was what's his name? The main character, like great uncle or something.
Oh, it's because I only saw like a few episodes of season one.
Yeah, it was
I
just
gave
this
up.
past season. Yeah, it was just this past
Right.
season.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's supposed to be King Dice, and if you go look at the teaser, which you should definitely look at the teaser on Netflix Twitter, it looks really good. It looks really well animated.
Right.
The problem is that we don't know when this stuff comes out. I mean, just like the DLC, they've been promising this stuff for years, and we still have no idea.
But usually, like the animated stuff, you tends to come out at a reasonable date. So like when they announce it, you see it like maybe like 3 or 4 months after.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
look at He-Man, right? Masters of the Universe. That took.
But the thing is,
that time that Kevin Smith said that he was working on it, it took all of 2 years for the whole development.
But the thing is that this is supposed to be hand drawn.
Right. Well, He-Man was hand drawn too.
No. I mean like hand drawn, like old school style.
Oh yeah. But I mean, I'm seeing it now. Yeah. And but still, like, yeah, I see it. But again, if they already have shit to show, then I feel like that they're already halfway done.
I don't know, man. I remember the first teaser was in like 2018, 19.
Show?
Well, for a Cuphead show, yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, they still haven't shown anything. Like, they shown some stuff, but they still haven't told us anything. And I'm just like, bro, like, eventually people are just gonna forget about Cuphead at this rate.
Right.
But yeah, and then next month, Johnny Test is supposed to come back on Netflix.
As a new show or as
new show, yeah. So it's a revival of Johnny Test.
Really?
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't think Johnny Test was this popular, but I guess so.
I didn't. Yeah. I mean, Johnny Test was like at the tail end of Kids WB, right?
Right.
Or like, yeah, like I remember that. Yeah, it was like at the tail end of Kids WB, and because I remember my brother, like when he was like little, like I used to put it on, and it used to be like one of the shows back then. But I didn't know it was that popular that it needed a revival.
That's what I said. Like, but apparently it was really popular. It got revived, and it's coming back on Netflix next month.
Good.
All right. Interesting. Johnny Test.
What about this?
So the next one is Arcane. It's the League of Legends show miniseries featuring Jinx.
Right.
It's also coming to Netflix. I think in the fall. They've showed us a little trailer of it. It looks pretty interesting, but again, kind of like Square Enix, Riot Games need to get away from League of Legends. Because they're shoehorning themselves into it. Don't get me wrong, it's a very popular game, but it is the esport.
Yep.
But I'm kind of tired of seeing these characters. Not gonna lie, I'm really tired of seeing these characters over and over again. But yeah, I mean, it's supposed to come out.
This is meant for the casual audience. It's like for the the diehards, but since it's gonna be on Netflix, it's trying to get new people to like get invested in that game, right? Be like,
Right.
oh, what is this is a game? Oh, this is a game? Like this is not a show? Oh, what? Let me see what this game is about, right? That's how you
Right.
get like the casual audience to get into your game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why obviously League of Legends is doing it. I mean, they wouldn't do a show unless they wanted new, subscribers and players into the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. I mean that, and I think they're trying to build a world
I mean, look at Dota.
that goes beyond. Yeah, exactly. That's another one. Which
Yeah.
can have a show, which makes no sense. But okay.
Right.
This one is so the next one after that is Ubisoft is not getting 1, not getting 2, not getting 3, but 4 shows on Netflix, as far as we know so far. Okay, 4 shows. Now the slide only shows 3 because the last one, the fourth one, was actually announced last year. You guys remember what it was?
Ubisoft?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Assassin's Creed.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
They're supposed to get a live action show that was announced December last year. We don't know when it's going to come out.
Right.
But they've been working on it for a while now. Obviously, pandemic getting in the way.
Right.
But so Assassin's Creed is working with it, but they're also getting a Splinter Cell anime. Okay, so we finally got to see Sam Fisher. That's what it looks like in the slide. And then the most interesting one, in my opinion, was Laserhawk, which is a Far Cry. I don't know if you guys remember it because it was kind of a stealth drop, but Far Cry 3. Yeah, Far Cry
Blood Dragon, right?
Right. It had a spinoff called Blood Dragon. They
Right.
didn't really announce it, and it kind of just came out of nowhere.
Right.
But it's one of the better Far Cry.
Yeah, I mean,
All
I
right.
think it's for most people who are into the Far Cry series, I think it's the best one, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you play any of the Far Cry 3s,
Yeah.
then you've got the quintessential Far Cry. You got the Far Cry experience.
Right.
So Laserhawk, the Blood Dragon specifically, is getting its own show, and that's called Laserhawk or Captain Laser.
Right.
And that's what he looks like in the picture. And then we're getting another Far Cry, but we don't know what it is yet. It just says Far Cry. So they've announced that it's being made. They haven't announced that what it's going to be. At the same time, they are working on the next season of Stranger Things. I don't know what the hell takes them so long for this. but
just again, right now it's just a pandemic.
well, they just casted people. Again,
Okay.
yeah, casting more people. But so they're also working on Stranger Things. But it's just going back to Ubisoft. Yeah, too many shows like that. I think they're treating these shows like their game. Find a formula and just keep printing.
Okay.
Okay. That's that one. Now the next one is Castlevania.
Well, it looks like an ugly ass Chun-Li.
Okay, that's terrible. But
this is true.
But,
the fuck?
Well, if you don't know who that is, do you know who that is, Andre?
That is the other reincarnation. That's Rick. No, that's the guy after the original Castlevania protagonist.
You had it right. It's Richter.
Right. Yeah, Richter. Right. I was just doubting myself for a second.
Yeah, so that's Richter. So like I said last week, Castlevania with Trevor and Silpha.
Yeah,
that's over. That saga is over
officially.
Yeah, and so now it's going to be the next series is going to be Richter and Priscilla or something like that.
So they're going back in time.
No, I think Trevor's before Richter. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Oh shit. So wait, Trevor is Simon's son?
Yes.
Okay. So that makes more sense.
Son or grandson.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of weird because they did retcon a lot of things. But essentially what it is that Simon is okay. First of all, there's like 3 Trevors.
There is.
Yeah, and so the Trevor the first became Dracula, right?
Mm.
Yeah, but no, they didn't show that in the show for obvious reasons.
Yeah, obviously.
But Trevor the first is Dracula. Simon, the one from the games, I think he is Simon the first. His kid or grandkid is Trevor, and then Trevor's kid or grandkid is supposed to be Richter.
Right.
So that's how it goes. Now, this wasn't always the case, but it is now, and that's all that matters. Yeah, there's like a million. There's like 3 Trevors in their family. But like 2 or 3 Simons. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of repeating names in their family trees, though. That's why I think there's even like 2 Dracula. No, there's Dracula. I think there's Alucard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's worse than the Zelda timeline in terms of mapping it out.
Yeah. Because I mean, like even like what gets confusing is that Dracula doesn't look consistent in all the games either.
Right. Yeah. Because the way Dracula works is that he reincarnates every time you kill him, and every time you kill him, he gets more powerful.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the latest rendition of Castlevania was, I think, 2011,
right.
And it was set in modern time.
Right.
And it was just a mess.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So that's gonna be the next Castlevania anime. So if you're fans of the anime, it's gonna continue. Just not with the characters that you know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure some of them will make cameos, but
right
for the most part, they're not gonna be there.
Hopefully, they make Richter because also what people liked was that they fell in love with Simon and then like his shit, and then him like having, like I'm a loner, and then I become a posse, and then I fell in love with one of my posse, and then then Dracula's backstory, and then Alucards and all that shit. So you don't have that anymore. So now how do you make people fall in love with Richter?
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a challenge at all period, because the question becomes, let's say once Richter's story is over, then what? Like, exactly. Are they gonna make another Castlevania?
Right.
And like, do people care about that next Castlevania character? Do people even know who those characters are?
Yeah, or do you go back in time and tell the original story, right? Like how Dracula became Dracula and blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this. And the next one is
The Witcher.
The Witcher. So I didn't know there was a Witcher con. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I barely heard about that. Maybe like a few days ago. I was like, "There's a Witcher con?"
Right, exactly. And so they are making the next season of Witcher. Of course, they announced it before the first season came out. But they didn't show that much on Netflix because they want to save it for the rest for WitcherCon. But apparently, this next one is going to be more about Ciri. It is going to be more about Geralt.
That's going to turn a lot of people off.
It is, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Ciri is a pretty popular character in the video game.
She is, and I mean, even in the show too. A lot of people really liked her in the show.
I didn't like her in the show.
Really?
I didn't like her in the show.
I
was like, she's too young to be here.
I'm saying the casual audience, right? Like the casual audience that got into the show without even knowing that it was a game. Right? People like Ciri as a character, but if you're taking Henry Cavill out of the picture,
no.
As the main, I'm just saying as the main protagonist, right, of the story.
No. He's still gonna be the main protagonist.
Oh,
it's just that he's gonna put more of a focus on Ciri.
Yeah, so she's gonna be more prevalent.
Yeah, but not. It's kind of like he's there, but he's there more as her teacher than as Geralt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like he's still gonna be there. He's still gonna be like, I guess, the overall focus, but he's gonna be him as training her versus him witchering. If that makes sense. At least that's the way they made it sound.
I,
But we
I
don't know
was
for sure.
confusing. I was confusing Siri with Yennefer. That's who I was confusing with.
Oh no, that's cool. Yennefer can stay in the ground.
Yeah,
Anyway, no, I was kidding. No, I was kidding. No, Yennefer is not an interesting character. Well, she was interesting in her origin, but
yes,
she's not
exactly.
interesting afterwards.
That's what people. That's what people fell in love with. I think was her origin and like how
Right.
she was and shit like that.
Right.
But yeah, Siri, I didn't like her in the show.
Right. Yeah, I didn't like in the show Siri either. The Siri in the show, I mean, you can tell that they're going to take her that way,
Yeah.
but she's nothing like the video game Siri,
No,
which is I think the one people like. I think they like the video game
Yeah.
Siri more than the book Siri,
Well,
and more
because
than the
she's more
show
of an
Siri.
adult too. She's
Right.
like has like more ideals and more. And this one's just like, okay, I'll do what you want. Blah blah blah.
I mean, she's essentially female girl.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's good. They have a lot to follow up.
Yeah.
But they have a way out because like the first season was confusing to a lot of people that they know.
Right.
Yeah, just don't do those time skips anymore.
Yeah, that was. I think they heard the criticism about that, and I think they learned from it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it's like you're for the first time. Like, first of all, the book of The Witcher started in the language Polish, right? That most people just didn't even have access to.
Right.
So the game was the first time people were introduced to the characters really outside of Poland. And then the games themselves, no one cared about 1 and 2.
Right.
They only really cared about 3.
Yeah, 3.
And so most people didn't even know the story still.
Right.
And then the show comes along and it's like, hey, we'll tell you the story. And then they decide to jump all over the place. And then everyone's just like, what the hell is this? Like, that's really what it is.
Right.
If you want a starting point, and I'm only going to give you the starting point, the oldest scene in that whole show was when Yennefer was sold as a kid.
Yeah.
That's the oldest. That was the oldest scene in that story, like
Yeah,
time
pretty much.
wise.
Yeah, because you don't get Geralt's backstory. So like,
Right.
see,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, go
the
ahead.
training of him and stuff like that, like how he
Right.
becomes a Witcher and all that. Like he
Right.
talks a little bit about it, but like you don't see any of that in the games you do.
Not only that, but by the time Geralt and Yennefer meet, they're like 70, 80 years old.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's like by the time they actually like are actually talking to each other like that, like they're already like seniors.
Yeah,
But they don't really tell you that though.
yeah.
Even I think
Well,
at the
no.
time, like,
Well, because it's deceitful because of, like their looks,
Right.
right? And people are like, "What?"
right,
Sam-
exactly. So like when you see Siri, it's like the last 20 years of his life.
Mhm.
Like, and so it's like that's why it made it so confusing because like there's times where he's just being a Witcher, and that's like in his 40s, 50s, and then by the time he meets Siri, he's like in his 60s,
Mhm.
and by the time Siri's an adult, that's when he's like senior, right? And that's when he meets like Yennefer around that time.
Right.
And so that's why a lot of the jumping was so hard. It's really hard to pinpoint where the start is, or the end is, because they show so many beginnings.
Right. Exactly.
And so yeah, so hopefully they don't do that in this next one. Just tell the damn story without the giant skips, and yeah, I can't wait for it to pop up. Yeah, I like the first season.
Yeah, I
Can't
did
wait
too.
for the second season. Can't wait for the second.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah, what's that? Unless you want to see me sleeping.
It's okay, man. You can sleep.
Okay,
You can watch it.
whatever.
We can watch it.
All right, then I guess we were done for today. Any
Uh,
unless you want to give your last thoughts about E3 or anything else.
Well, one thing we didn't talk about E3, well, which was a surprise to me, and that was in the Nintendo Showcase, was Advance Wars.
Oh yeah,
They brought that shit out of left field. Like everyone was asking for Advance Wars, and no one thought they were gonna bring that in. I mean, they still haven't brought that the original one to the
Right.
Switch.
The reason why I didn't want to talk about it is because it looked like a mobile game. Not gonna lie.
Really? Well, I mean, it is coming to mobile.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's coming to Switch and mobile. As I think, yeah, for the most part. But I mean, I like it. I mean, it's basically a recreation of the first one.
All right.
So I mean, well, first and second, and the second one was pretty fucking damn good. I played the shit out of it when it first came out on the Game Boy Advance. So like I have a nostalgia towards it. So like
Right.
I knew like when I saw like kind of like when I saw Metroid, I was like that's cop day one. Um, just because I want to because that's the thing, right? Like if people are really want the Metroid series to be prevalent, go out and buy this fucking Dread game. Like
Yeah, pretty much.
you really want this shit to be serialized and have like the same amount of respect as Zelda has. Go out and buy the fucking game.
I mean, to be
Like
honest, I don't think he's ever gonna get to that level.
oh
Like
no
Zelda.
no no no
Yeah,
right. But I'm just saying to that degree, right? To try to reach that degree, like people have to go out and support the fucking game. And the
yeah.
same thing with Advance Wars. People have been begging for years for Advance Wars, and they're getting it now. Go out and fucking show up for that game.
Yeah.
Like don't just
It's
talk.
it's like Luigi's Mansion. You
Right,
know, like when they remade it for the 3DS, so it sold really well. They made it
right,
terrible.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
So
essentially what it comes down to.
right.
That's why I said I was gonna buy Xbox when Fable came out. Because it's like at the end of the day, they only really care about money. And if it doesn't sell units, then they ain't gonna make it.
Right.
And so yeah, you do have to go out and support this game if you really like it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, then don't complain that
Exactly. Why
you
we're
know
not
you'll get
getting
another one.
a
Yeah,
newer version of the game.
uh,
Exactly.
the same hype you have for it being shown, you have to have the same hype when it comes to spending money.
Right.
Another thing was the one thing I kind of want to mention that was kind of depressing is that again Sony wasn't there.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not entirely sure.
technically, they had a presence on Summer Game Fest. That was their
Yeah,
presence. But other
right.
than that, that's about it.
But that was the thing. Like they weren't really there, which is really depressing because I know they like doing their state of plays, but every last one of their state of plays has been complete
Yeah, I
garbage.
mean, Sony, the presence of was missed of Sony.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I would just like to compare it all
yeah.
versus here's a uh here's a state of play a couple weeks later or next week.
I mean, yeah, because
Like
even Capcom, like on their side, all they did was talk about shit that we already knew about, and then like because when I say Capcom, because most of their games are Sony games,
right.
so it just oh, like they didn't show anything, and they spent money to use E3's venue, which is so fucking stupid to tell you about games that you already knew about or
Yeah,
updates. I mean, most of it was updates.
yeah, and that's really the thing is that I don't know what they're thinking about. Maybe they're just thinking about, hey, we're number one, so why help anybody else? But at the end of the day, you can tell there's clearly things that they need. I think they need E3 just as much as E3 needs them.
Yeah,
I just think they don't want to move it.
yeah, exactly.
Because like it would have been nice to see what PlayStation had to offer. Because
Mhm.
now with all it's like, yeah, you're not there, but it's not like the hype wasn't there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hype was still kind of there.
Yeah, I mean the hype
Uh,
was there because you did
right,
see people talking about like what was shown and it was trending on Twitter and shit like that. Like you don't trend on Twitter if there was no hype
right,
behind it.
and that's really what it is. Because you take a look at it, like you have, I think what happens is now Xbox gets to run around with
Exactly.
Xbox on all the games.
Yeah,
Like you now, it's like, yo, you want to be announced at E3, Xbox or what? You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like
Because I
they
mean
get to look
that
at all the third parties and say, like, hey, this is our game now. This is going to be on the Xbox, and you're going to
right.
make it look like, and just like what happened this year, you make it look like Xbox has all the games, but most of those are going to be multiplayer.
Yep.
But we know that because we're gamers. But
Exactly.
the average person doesn't know that. I mean, they kind of probably just be like, oh, damn, look at all the Xbox games. So I think Sony's making a big mistake, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
All right.
But
So,
last thing that I want to talk about is I put it on the thread, but I guess no one put it. Uh was the ETB Pokemon Center Chilling Rain sets. So they for those who don't know, there was a special version of the ETBs that was sold through Pokemon Center. Because there's also just the normal ETBs that you can just buy at any card shop or whatever retailer. And the difference between those was that in this box they're supposed to have 10 packs. The dice are metal, and the coin I think is just like a bigger coin, and the sleeves have like a different art. Well, it has the same kind of silhouette art, but like they added like effects in the back of the silhouette, so it's just a different type of sleeves. And so, and it even says on the box, like I just received my box, like the first one. I'm supposed to receive the other one tomorrow. And they on the box itself it says it has 10 packs. Before I got my box in, and then I started seeing it all over YouTube of people, saying the same shit that what I saw. They sent an email saying that the manufacturer fucked up, and instead of you getting 10 packs, you get 8 packs in the box.
Okay.
So you paid $50 to guarantee yourself 10 packs in the box of the ETB, but you're only getting 8. So what they did and what they stated in the email, which is more of a win than anything else, is that they were going to reimburse you $10, and that and then they also were going to give you 3 V cards. So they're going to give you Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno V cards. Send it out to you. Plus, they're going to give you the 2 packs that they were supposed to guarantee you. So give you the 2 extra packs, so you get the 10 packs. So I mean, that's really good. I mean, you won't see them reimbursing you or those packs and those cards like from 6 to 8 weeks, but it's on their behalf. They're doing like, hey, we fucked up, and you paid extra money for it, but this is our way of rectifying it, right? So they Pokemon Center actually did a good thing on this end. They didn't have to do this. They could have been like, oh well, I'm sorry guys, and fuck it. Right? But they did it, and also a lot of people were also really hyped on this because they were speculating that this was where Charizard special delivery card was going to come,
Right.
and that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I
So
mean
that
that's
card's
usually how it goes. Card.
yeah, so that card is still out in the wild, whether we're ever going to get that card or not.
Right. And that's the thing is that no one ever knew that was going to get the card.
Exactly.
Because Nintendo, I think knowing how Charizard is in the United States
Yeah.
or in the West in general, that they hesitate for those cards out. But
Yeah.
speaking of
And
Pokemon, okay.
go for it. Oh no, no,
Uh,
no. It's just that also in that email, I think that's why people were probably still guessing that card was gonna come, because in that email on the top header of it, they showed that special delivery Charizard art. So
oh,
I think that's where a lot of people
yeah,
got confused, and they were like,
that's
"Oh,
dirty.
it is coming in
Yeah,
this box," and nah.
but side note, while we're talking about Pokemon cards,
Right, right,
so it's actually a really now, I don't like to promote Scout,
right.
but there is a very scalpable set coming out. It's a collaboration between Nintendo and artist Yu Nagaba,
Yeah.
and they have released. They are going to take pre-orders. Well, if you buy 1,500 yen, about $15 worth of stuff off of Pokemon Center,
Right.
you get a special Pikachu illustrated by him because he's illustrated, and he made a whole box set actually, where you get sleeves, and other accessories in it.
Right.
But you have to enter a raffle in order to buy it.
Oh shit.
Right now, the raffle is only in Japan. But right now, the raffle is only in Japan, but it's supposed to come to United States one day. So
Hey.
yeah, because it's supposed to be to the
The
Pokemon
story
Center.
of the Americas when it comes to Pokemon one day.
Yeah, I put in the slides what the set looks like. Yeah, so that's a very interesting set.
Right. I mean,
It's
it sounds
something.
like an interesting set.
Yeah, it's going to be a one of a kind. Well, not one of a kind, but it's going to be very set.
Yeah, rare and sought
Yeah,
out set.
yeah, that's the Pikachu.
I can't see it. Is it in the chat or is it on the stream? Because I don't see it on the stream.
It's in the slides. It's the last slide.
Uh, see it. Oh.
But yeah, so pretty interesting
Yeah.
set. Letting out there. If you want to enter the Japanese one, I don't know if people outside of Japan can enter the Japanese one, but if you want to see if you can, the registration for that raffle closes on the 28th, and then we don't know when the American one's going to come. If the American one even comes,
It even comes out.
well,
Exactly, yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Make your decision. That's about it.
I mean, for that, I
That-
think like you have to go through a service in order to get that because
Yeah, you have to go through a raffle.
that looks actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
It looks different.
Yeah.
Cool.
And how many of those are giving away?
Very limited.
Yeah, it's going to be limited. They didn't say how many.
This is
How
how
many?
many?
I mean,
Yeah.
if you have to win it through a raffle, it's gonna be super limited.
Yeah, my guess is that they don't want it to get scalped.
Yeah.
My guess that they wanted to give something that people buy and actually use versus just
Yeah.
seeing it on eBay. Because this is, to be honest, like that's why I said it's a very scalpable set. Because this is one of those things that can go for like $2-3 grand on eBay in like a couple months. So you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's already people listing this shit on
I hope
and
not.
they don't even have it yet.
Right. Yeah, because the raffle will be chosen. The winners will be chosen on July 9th.
Right.
So yeah, I just wanted to say that. That's about it.
Well,
To wrap it up.
you already know. Go ahead and try to enter. I know Josh and Andrews will. Right, Andrews?
Probably if the English one comes out, like it gets kind of hard when you're dealing with the Japanese stuff.
Yeah, because the thing is that there's just more English speaking people in the world with Japanese.
When there's
so,
a
so the prices go higher.
where there's a
Mhm.
will,
No, but I'm just saying like in order to get it through the Japanese.
That too. Yeah,
you
it's
know,
awesome.
no, well,
I mean to get any of those special box sets, it's a bitch to try to get one from here, and then you have to go through a service, and you have to charge whatever they want to charge you and the shipping, which is a bit.
The service is called eBay.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's about it.
oh well. All right, then. I mean, best of luck if you go. Try to actually. Which I
Yeah.
doubt it. You never know. When it comes to you, you're lucky as fuck. Either way, that's it for tonight, guys. Put your comments down below if you wanna, give us anything. What your thoughts about E3, which is your favorite games, who won E3 in general. We'll see you guys next week at the same time at 7 p.m. Hopefully, with at least Josh in here. And we might bring any guests, probably Max. I'll ask him since Ruben is disabled.
Disabled.
No, well, basically he is for 2 weeks. Either way, hope you guys have a good night. See you guys. Peace.
Peace.